I'm very, very excited because we're launching your brand, Vandenberg, today. And not everyone might know this unless they've read the title of this short video, but you're based in Melbourne, which is super exciting. I'm half Australian, and I always used to love going down to Australia because you guys are like a season ahead and everything just seems so cool and awesome. And so it's super always exciting to launch a brand because there's such great design talent. So I'm glad we get to have like a quick conversation. And I know it's super early for you. It's like 8 a.m., right?
Yeah, it's 8 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try and talk slowly because I've had like 5 coffees and you've probably only had one. So
Yeah.
let me know if I'm going too fast. Cool, and there might be a little bit of a delay, so I'll make sure to pause a bit. But
Yeah.
maybe you can start off and kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and then your brand.
Yeah, so my name's Hayley. I'm 22. I finished design school 2 years ago. I launched my brand after working at a fabric store for about a year, because I just really began falling in love with the fabrics. And I mean, launch my own brand was something I've always wanted to do. But part of my brand is I wanted to bring gorgeous fabrics to life in wonderful ways and not butcher them, but manipulate them to work for my designs. I wanted to kind of get them to work cohesively. So my brand is really
Cool.
all about, really girly women's wear, but with a slight edge to it. I want it to kind of express who I am, but also the person who I imagine buying it. I've always designed sort of based off who I imagine wearing my clothes. So
Yeah.
I yeah,
So
I wanted
who's the Vandenberg girl or
um
woman?
yeah, so kind of a younger woman, someone who's in their like mid to late 20s, who's sort of beginning their journey into a more professional life. And I think that's a very different thing for our generation. Um, there's all these articles out at the moment how where our generation is more likely to work like two part-time jobs and one full-time office job. Um, and I think that's
Amen.
yeah, I think that's really shaping our generation in a very different way. And I really like that. So I wanted to kind of play on the fact that we're not wearing our corporate wear that our parents might have. We're wanting to wear something that's a little bit more casual, a little bit more fun, and that can express ourselves a bit more because we're allowed to.
Right.
Yeah.
And what makes, so you started off, you've been working at a fabric store. What makes like a beautiful fabric for you? How do you fall in love with a fabric and choose to design with it?
Color's a big thing. I mean, I've got bright colored hair, so
Yeah, talk to me
color.
about this hair.
Yeah, colors are always what I'm drawn to, I think. I mean, especially pinks and purples. That's just me. I don't know why. I just love them. But also just the feel. I love anything that's soft and luxurious. I love anything that's made from a natural fiber as well, because I know it's going to, you know, not be horrible against the skin. It's not going to get staticky. It's going to be so soft and just comfortable to wear. Something that has gorgeous drape as well.
Mm-hmm.
With the pants and shorts I made and the little top. It's all made from a tencel, which just has really gorgeous drape. It sort of still gives that denim look. So it makes it, to me, a really nice way to wear sort of a denim look without it being like a stiff denim.
Yeah, definitely. Which is great for summertime and when you don't want to have, hard denim right
Yeah,
against your
exactly.
skin.
Yeah,
Especially, I imagine, in Australia where it can be very hot. But do you have
yeah.
any of the pieces with you right now?
I don't, unfortunately, because
Oh,
the
no.
the samples are with an influencer, so I don't
Oh,
have them with
cool.
me. Yeah.
It's okay. I guess that's fine that they're with an influencer.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, one of my favorite parts about your collection is the fact that you started the brand with the goal of helping people kind of customize and have this DIY component. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you're thinking about that in relation to your customer? And By the way, do you want to remind everyone what the name of your line is?
Yes, so the name of my line, Natural Millennial, which is kind of like a play on the fact that this generation is very into, like veganism and natural products and not wanting to use, heaps of chemical stuff. But then on the other side, we're super into technology. We dye our hair crazy colors with lots of chemicals. And to me, it's a very interesting juxtaposition. And I forgot the first part of the question.
Is it interesting as in like, it's kind of a little bit, like, are you kind of, pointing fingers / holding a mirror up to millennials because like, you want to be natural, but we're going to dye our hair, 10 colors sort of thing? Are you trying to kind of be playful around this idea of going back to nature, but also being one of the most techie kind of, generations out there, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of playing fun with it and also just showing the irony of it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously it's all good, but
right.
Yeah, definitely showing the irony. I think it's something that's very, like, you get a lot of people who are very, I suppose, like, righteous in their natural movement, but then like,
right.
They a MacBook and all the latest iPhones or whatever, and it's like,
right. Yes, it's made by Foxtel. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a bit of fun, and not something to be taken too seriously, and just a bit of like lighthearted fun, really.
And I think it comes out in your design, right? Like, one of my favorite features of your collection is the pocket. Can you talk about the pocket details that you do?
Yeah, so pocket details for the 19th collection, and they all say badass on them. Stitching.
I love that.
Yeah, it's sort of just a bit of fun and a bit of, playfulness. But part of my brand was the DIY or like personalization aspect, which I guess stemmed from when I was at university and I studied what I wanted a brand to be. And that was that I felt like customers didn't have as much of a say in what they were buying as I personally would have liked. And so having little touches of personalization, whether it be being able to change stitching detail or whether it be buying the pattern for the product and making it up yourself in your own fabric, in your own color you want, was kind of important to me, because then you can really create something that you love and that you want to wear. And
right.
Especially in the world of fast fashion, it's so great to be able to get something that someone actually genuinely really, really loves and will keep for a long time.
Yeah. I think I really like that detail. It is literally cheeky. Just because, you're wearing badass in very, very tiny writings on your little behind. And I find that like just so smart and such a fun way to play around with it. 'Cause people are going to look at it, and then if they look at it close enough, they'll see what it says. So I'm super excited by that detail, and I think that's like a very thoughtful thing to add. And the fact that when you sell the DIY stuff and the ability to customize it, I think that's great too. But I just love that you picked badass as the example one that you're working with, because it's funny. I appreciate it as a customer. Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to be a bit of fun, and like that's also a lot of my design aesthetic. I don't want to take things too seriously, just have a bit of fun with it. And I think that's a big thing in fashion, is that things can be so serious, but like why not throw something fun? And
so that's cool. Talk to me about I love, clearly the badass shorts are my favorite, but talk to me a little bit about some of your other pieces. Like, I definitely want to talk about the design, the face, and the t-shirt, and I love the multiple way to wear dress and just the simplicity of it. So maybe you can talk about how you came up with those, and like what your thought process was for those.
So the design was sort of the customer, someone who has their dyed hair, and it's something I drew just on the computer, gaining inspiration from the customer, and then I surrounded her with flowers, because of the natural aspect of that, of, you know, that's a part of her, is all the floral motifs. Um, and then the dress was really important to me because I like, again, the playful aspect that fashion can have, um, and turning what, you know, a wrap dress, most times you wrap over the front and then that's that. And I wanted to play with the fact, well, why don't we wear it back the front? And so I originally designed it just completely back the front with the kind of higher neck and then the wrap at the back. And then I thought, well, you know, people are going to pick it up and think it's meant to be worn the other way. And so I thought, well, let's see if we can make it fit so that it will still work the other way as well. So I got that working, and I just thought it's a bit more fun to have something that's versatile, and also you can then have something which maybe is a little bit more conservative, not showing off too much of your cleavage or anything, but then you can also go and flip it around, have fun with it, you know, sort of almost take it from day to night in that way, because it's something you can pop on multiple ways, you know, tie it up how you like. If you want it tied around your waist, wrap the ties around a few times. If you want it more flowing, only wrap it around once. So yeah, I really wanted that to be a very, you know, easy thing to wear for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I love the millennial, like I don't know if you were thinking about this, but millennial pink is kind of a big like
Yeah, definitely.
term. So the fact that everyone loves pink and the ability to wear it kind of no matter what. We've been saying like millennial is just a mindset, which I definitely think is true. But I love the, you know, the excuse to bring a little pink back into the world. So I like those pink elements in your collection as well.
Yeah, definitely wanted to bring that in because, yeah, I mean, that's a term that has been said over and over again.
Again and again. I know you're like, what does this mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of fun to play with my own take on that and like a, yeah, in a fun little way. And especially with the girl in the shirt, her hair being that pink,
Yeah.
kind of that
And did
aspect.
you draw the pink face yourself? The girl with the pink face? Cool.
Yeah, I did all of that.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's super cool. Was she modeled after you?
No, she wasn't. I mean, her hair kind of, but no, she wasn't modeled after
Does
me.
she have a name?
No, she doesn't have a name
Oh,
actually.
okay.
I guess maybe Olivia because that's the Olivia T.
Ah.
Maybe.
So what made you name the pieces the way you did?
They're all named after people that are special to me, women who are
Oh,
special to me.
cool.
Yeah. So Olivia is my best friend since high school. Uh, Emily and Hannah, the Emily dress and the Hannah shorts, they're also my best friends from school. The Ella top is my sister. Yeah, so like Josie Pant is my friend from literally kindergarten.
Wow.
So yeah, like they're all people who are really special to me, and that's what I want to continue doing in my brand because I have a lot of people who I think have helped get me to this point, and I really wanted to kind of honor them in
Right.
that way.
And do you design those pieces? Like, do you match do you design the piece for the person you're naming after? Or do you
Yeah,
kind of design it and then name it?
well, I design it and then name it,
Okay.
but I definitely considered like who I thought would go like
Best with
match
each.
what. Yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. So you're based in Melbourne,
yeah.
and I got to read through your designer spotlight a little bit, and you're like the second person from Melbourne that has talked about the weather being four things at once. But can you, but in terms of the fashion scene, can you tell us a little bit about what it's like to be an up and coming designer in Melbourne?
Yeah, it's definitely a really creative place. I mean, I'm probably biased, but I would say it's more creative place in Australia. Um, we have a really strong art culture as well as like foodie culture and everything. So there's a lot of new things always being created. And I think that leads into the fashion as well. You're always getting new brands popping up. You're always getting new people trying something new and always willing to push the boundaries. And I think that makes it a really great place to be an up and coming designer because there's so much inspiration everywhere. Um, it is kind of feels like it's at the end of the world sometimes because like you're so separated from everywhere else and all you're getting like stuff from is online and everything. But
Right.
I think that could be a good thing because it does mean we're quite separated from trends and kind of being dragged into following what everyone else is doing in the world. So,
Seasonality and stuff.
exactly, like when we're looking online at what magazines are saying are the latest trends, they're completely wrong season for us. So I think
Yes.
that that can really mean that we take things in a different way and we sort of apply our own trends to everything.
Yeah. So where do you
Yes.
look for trends, or where do you find the inspiration for your garments aside from your friends who serve like some inspirational purposes? But is there somewhere in particular you draw a lot of your like design inspiration from?
I would say there's anywhere in particular. I kind of am always taking it in my surroundings and applying them to my designs. I definitely notice whenever I travel, my designs change slightly. And I think it's even just a really like subconscious thing of taking on board what everyone around me is wearing, what they're doing, what their lifestyles are like, and applying that into my designs. And then I get, I suppose, a lot of inspiration just from art I see, or, you know, it could even just be one day I, you know, saw someone wearing something and that really grabbed me and that kind of took me into a whole new collection. Um, a lot of times it is the fabrics. I'll see a new fabric come into work
Right.
in the fabric store and I'll, you know, spring 20 new ideas off that and think if I could get, you know, a few other fabrics that I want to pair with it, it could spring into something completely different. So, um, yeah, I think I get it from a lot of sources, but definitely just the culture around me and the vibes around me a lot. Um, yeah, when I always generally carry a pen and paper to draw something on because I'll, if I'm getting ideas, I'll at least take a picture on my phone or I'll just begin drawing something really quick, even if it's on scrap paper, just to
Right.
sort of get the, yeah.
I mean, based on the Olivia face, pink hair girl face, it sounds like you're a great, artist in general, aside from just doing fashion. And I think, I don't know if I noticed this on your resume, but you actually did graphic tees with Rebecca Minkoff here in New York at some point.
Yeah, that was my first internship there. I got to do some t-shirts for them, which was really, really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. How was that experience?
Yeah, that was an incredible experience, especially because it was just after my first year of uni, so I was only 19.
Whoa.
Coming to New York, yeah, on my own was crazy. I'd never been to New York before. I had traveled to America and stuff, so I vaguely knew like what I was getting into, but I'd only traveled with my family. So it was a crazy new experience, but going to work every day for an internship was such a good learning experience, and I learned so
Definitely.
much about design stuff there, and um, yeah, being able to make the t-shirts and a few of them got on the runway was just like an absolute dream come true, especially for 19-year-old me who's, you know, only just finished her first year of uni and, you know, really doesn't know exactly where things are going to take her yet. Like it was a really amazing experience.
Yeah, that is super cool. So I'm gonna invite anyone who's watching. I think we've had about 5 to 10 people watching, but if anyone wants to ask any questions of Hayley, just type them in the comments below. I've got kind of a few more questions, and then I will let you have your morning back, because you probably haven't eaten breakfast yet. Um, yeah, you're like, no, I just rolled out of bed like this, and I look fabulous. It's fine. Um, so I know sustainability is a big part of your brand. Can you talk a little bit about how you're thinking about that and how you're using it in some of your design and sort of what that means to you as a millennial designer?
Yeah, well, I think it also does stem, I think, a bit from the Australian side of me because I grew up during like one of the worst droughts in Australia.
Oh,
And so
wow.
I grew up knowing that resources are very limited. Um, like we grew up with the mindset of like, if you want to water the garden, you're gonna have to put a bucket underneath you in the shower to water that garden, because that's the water for the day. So I think that really came into it, was the world is such a precious place and we've got such limited resources. So when I was designing my collection, I took all the scraps from cutting it out, and I just don't see the benefit to throwing all of that away. So I made little pouches and bags with it. And I always try to think of how can I use the most fabric possible. I'm still trying to work out a way to make a no waste cut garment that actually looks really good.
Yeah.
Because I did experiment with that at university, but a lot of them kind of end up looking
like a toga.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They either look very like draped or blockish, and
Right.
but to me it was very important to keep everything used that can be used, to make sure that everything is not going to waste, because I mean, we have so much waste in the world. What's the point of throwing out, half the fabric we use just because it's small, odd shaped pieces?
Yeah, and I love the like juxtaposition of fabrics in your little bags, and I like that, each capsule collection has their own matching bags just because of the nature of how you're reusing the fabrics. And they're definitely really fun. They're almost like, would you call them like clutch size or pencil case size, or how do you usually speak about them?
I'd say it's probably clutch size.
Clutch size.
The smaller ones, like big enough for a phone and maybe a small wallet.
Right.
And then the other definitely like a proper clutch size. So kind of like something you can carry with you or pop in a handbag if you wanted, type thing.
Cool. Very cool. So what, aside from fashion, what do you kind of like think about? What do you like to do outside of fashion?
I love TV and movies. I'm a very big fan of Marvel. So I'm very excited for the new Infinity War movie coming out next week.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, so I'm really into that sort of like superhero genre and everything.
Okay. Question for you. If you had to
Yeah.
have one Marvel character wear your clothing, who would it be?
Oh, that's so hard.
Maybe I'll have to have you like follow up with that answer.
Yeah.
It could be a DC character too. We're non-denominational in our comic interests, but
Yeah, that's probably too hard for me to answer.
Well, that's so cool. Well, I think we have a couple people that are excited to see your collections, but no extra questions. Is there anything else you want to say to kind of people about your brand or your goals or what you're looking forward to?
Well, I hope that everyone likes the collection. I'd love any feedback, as always. I think that's probably the most important thing, is getting feedback from customers, because I really genuinely value the input, whether it be about design or colors I chose, and fabric I chose, and I love to know what other people are thinking. And it's something I don't get a lot of. So especially being online a lot of the time, it's hard to get that face-to-face interaction. So anybody has any comments, I'd love to hear them.
Definitely. Because you actually
really
sourced a lot of these fabrics for the US market, which is super cool. So you'll be able to get a lot of great feedback on those. You got to see them too, but clearly, it's a new experience when you're sourcing from a different market.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely is, and I'd love to see what all the US people are thinking about it, because I've mainly got Australian like commentary on my stuff now, so I'd love to see what the different thoughts are on it.
Right. That's interesting. What's been like the Australian commentary?
Well, I mean, like I've done a few markets and stuff, and I think people like a lot of the denim stuff.
Oh, interesting.
But to winter here, so I think everyone's like, it's too cold to wear right now.
Yes. Well, it is also freezing here still, but hopefully it will be warm soon and we can all enjoy that. Well, cool. Well, Hayley, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me early in your morning. And I'm glad we got it to work out. Clearly, there are tricks and tools for this. But everyone should go check out Hayley's new collection. It's Vandenberg is the brand. The collection is Natural Millennial, and there's 5 awesome pieces, lots of separates and dresses. So check it out. They're perfect for spring, and they're a nice balance of kind of blues and those millennial pinks. So let us and let Hayley know what you think, and we'll see you next week.